All right, everyone, how about 3 quick cards and a bottom card with me? Well, this time around, it doesn't matter what your sign is, this is straight up energy reading. I get a lot of people that are worried about how much time has passed, right? My person, Steve, it's been 5 years, I haven't heard from them. Well, the likelihood is very nil, all that kind of stuff. Okay, that's fine. Go ahead. I don't think you should be waiting for anybody, but I'm going to correct you right here in this reading. And it's a question I asked the universe even, about how your person feels about reaching out to you. And it's a general thing, and it showed up here. It showed up in the pre-shuffle. We'll talk about it, and we'll pull 3 cards and a bottom card, and we're going to talk about why this person may or may not reach out to you, or what's stopping them, or all that kind of stuff. But first, you need to understand a little something that Albert Einstein taught us, and that's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to take the science channel and condense it down into about 2-3 minutes, maybe 5 minutes on the top side. This is general reading. It may or may not resonate with you, but if the title brought you in here or you found Steve's Love Tarot, you're here for a reason. This reading, as coincidence would have it, is timeless. Whenever you find it, you're meant to find it. Your perception of time. Einstein taught us that light behaves like a particle. It was originally thought it behaved like a wave. Light actually behaves like a particle. What does that mean? Well, Science Channel goes off on it for like 45 minutes. I'm just going to talk about you and your soulmate cycle. Okay? You've all heard E equals MC squared and all that kind of stuff. And I talked on the Leo reading a little bit about if you were to go to speed of light for 4 days and then come back to Earth. For you, 4 days have passed, but here on Earth, hundreds of years may have gone by. I mean, I'm exaggerating the math, but it's good for example purposes to exaggerate. Right? 4 days for you, because you were going the speed of light, and you come back to Earth, and hundreds of years have passed. Why? Because your perception of time is directly related and tied to the mass of an object or the speed of an object. It is what it is. That's how your perception of time is. Now, let's talk about mass. How does this relate to the soulmate cycle, Steve? Okay. The soulmate cycle is a fucking massive amount of energy. You have past lives with this person that go way back. That's a buildup of energy. It is a massive amount of energy. I'll use one of my own examples, and I'll use one from the Science Channel. I'll start with the Science Channel. If you were to go to New York City and stand next to the Empire State Building, lean against it, your perception of time would be slower than that of the energies around you. It's minute. It would just be a little bit, fraction of a second. But still, time would move slower for you than it does for the people who aren't leaning against that building, who are just walking around on the street. Okay? Your perception of how does that relate to maybe the real world? Because a lot of people don't understand that example. My niece did, and I had to explain it to her when she saw it on the Science Channel. I'll explain it to you the same way I explained it to her. Let's say you're on a date. You're sitting across from somebody and you're really digging them. You're having a conversation. The conversation gets intense. It gets deep and deep. There's a massive exchange of information, of energy between the two of you. Yeah, it's massive. For you, it feels like an hour went by, maybe 10 minutes. But then the waitress comes over and she says, I'm sorry, you guys are going to have to leave. We're closing. Turns out 4 hours have gone by. You've been talking to this damn person with this energy exchange that you love. You love this person, is wonderful, for 4 hours. But to you, it felt like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe an hour tops. You can't believe the restaurant's closing. Let's flip that energy. You're sitting across the table. You're on a date. You're on a date with an asshole. I mean, you're picking up a real rapey McRaperman vibe. You want out of there, but you already ordered, and you really love the food you ordered. You want to try it. So you sit there and you suffer through a conversation with them. It feels like an eternity. It feels like it's going on and on and on and on. If you were to sit there until closing time, it would feel like years went by, not just minutes. That is Einstein. That is physics. That is what the soulmate cycle is. It's energy. Your soulmate cycle is a massive exchange of energy. So the perception of time is completely different. You're that first couple. That couple that was crazy into the conversation, exchanging information back and forth. All of a sudden, 4 hours go by. People around you have been leaving and coming in and eating and leaving and eating and leaving. And for you, it felt like just 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So it does not matter. My point here is it does not matter. The laws of physics dictate. It does not matter how much time has gone by. If your person's been gone for 5 years. 5 years, Steve, I haven't heard from them. I don't think there's any chance they'll reach out. I'm not telling you to wait for it, and I'm not trying to tell you to have false hope. I'm correcting you. You're wrong. There's just as much chance they reach out after 5 years as there is after 5 minutes. It's the same. It doesn't change. In fact, the further they run, as I've often said, the energy grows in these connections. So, keep that in mind if you're worried about, I'm tired of people being worried about how much time passes. I'm thinking, don't they watch the Science Channel? Don't they know about Einstein? Oh shit, they probably don't. Too busy on YouTube learning about fairies and shit. I don't know. Whatever the case is, Steve's Love Tarot's the real deal here. We're talking about physics, energy, science. Alright? And we occasionally bring up a unicorn or two. Fine, I'll give you that. We love unicorns here. That said, there's no big deal. So we have to open the reading this way. Well, how does your person feel about reaching out to you? Well, let's find the fuck out. I got a pre-shuffle here, and we'll pull 3 cards and a bottom card. But if you think because 5 years have gone by, 6 years, well, it doesn't matter. You're that couple. Time, your perception of time within the soulmate cycle, within your connection, is moving slower than that of the energies around you out in the greater scheme of things. So sure, 5 years can go by. But just like that person that traveled light speed for 4 days and came back and hundreds of years went by on Earth, for them only 4 days went by. The urge to go home is still there, but their home is long gone. Lots of time has passed. You know, so you have no idea. It does not matter how much time goes by here. You can run into this person in 40 years and it'll feel like yesterday. Especially for the runners. I want to point that out. This is especially because the DFs have focused on themselves and focused on other things. But the runners have been really focused on this. I think we're going to see some cards where they sort of change some things up here in this, where they push things back and maybe kind of, you know, we're definitely, like always, going to see some push-pull here from them. But if you're worried that too much time has passed, stop that. It doesn't matter. Okay? The perception's all off because of the amount of energy that's exchanged within these connections. All right. I'm going to grab a sip of water. Might be a quick edit, and we're going to talk about this pre-shuffle. Well, how does your person feel about reaching out to you? Now that we've got the subject of time out of the way. Oh, 5 years have passed, Steve. I don't know if they're going to reach out. Now that we've dissipated that, taken care of that, might as well have been 5 minutes. Right here. Page of Wands crossed by the Knight of Cups. I ask the universe, how does the runner feel about reaching out to the non-runner? Page of Wands, communication. Ace of Cups. Oh, excuse me. Knight of Cups. Yeah, Ace of Cups. They're holding on to a lot of love. Knight of Cups, crossing it. Yeah, they do. But there's some anxiety here. This is kind of a downgrade a little bit. The baseline energy is this. Maybe in their mind, they're this. This equals a very strong urge to reach out. Just as strong as it was in the beginning. And this is kind of showing that, right? A lot of time has passed. That's, you know, you might think they're down to a page. The chances are slim, right? But they're not. The affecting energy is the same as it was in the very beginning. Okay? See? I'm showing you the energy. They feel like there's something they want to straighten out. They know that you're better than what they've got. The Six of Swords. What else? They know your value. The King of Pentacles. They know that you're the 8-point buck with rainbow antlers that they're not going to find anywhere else. What else? There's some fear. Yeah, they hold back because it costs them. When they hold back, where is it? The Hangman crossing the Four of Pentacles. When they hold back, it creates a huge burden on them. This is what I just explained to you. The energy grows. The more they fear reaching out to you, yeah, the fears generate and generate and generate. The more they hold back, the more they hang man, the more pressure there is on them. Okay? The more pressure. The urge to reach out is the same, is my point. Okay? There you go. Your perception of time is directly related to the mass of an object or the speed of an object. Same thing happens on an airplane, by the way. You know, the same as standing next to the Empire State Building, kind of a thing like that. But I gave you the light speed example, not that planes go light speed. Let's do, but anyway, let's go 3 cards and a bottom card. So who gives a shit? Stop writing into me on Twitter and saying, I don't think somebody's going to come back. It's been 5 years. God, that so doesn't matter here. And you know what? It's not hocus pocus. It's not crazy stuff. It's not fairies and unicorns. It's physics. It's science. It's Albert Einstein. All right? It's a fact. My restaurant analogy is valid. It's solid. And we've all experienced that, haven't we? We all have. It is what it is. It's about energy exchange. I'm like that when I write a song, when I'm working on a song or something like that. Right? I'll be in here what feels to me like 15 minutes, but 8 hours will have gone by. Why? Because of the massive amount of energy I put into it. All right? It is. Deepak Chopra calls that dharma. He says, you know when something is your life's purpose because time seems to just go by when you do it. Well, what I just described with songwriting, for example, or you talking to that person, that's fantastic, and you close the restaurant, that sort of thing. Really, that's a spiritual way of putting it, yes, but really it's physics. It's Albert Einstein. E equals MC squared. All right, here we go. 3 cards and a bottom card. So there's your science lesson for the day. Not dumbed down, homespun, I like to say. But it has to be that way. You got half this country that's more inclined to believe in conspiracy theories than to actually look at the science. Because it's easy. It's easy to believe in conspiracy theories if you don't understand what's going on. It's easy to put some hocus pocus on shit. Physics is difficult, but it actually isn't. If you understand it, you could take it down a click or two and it all makes sense. All right? It's always interesting to find out why something's happening instead of just assuming. Here we go. 3 cards and a bottom card. Let's see what we got. All right. How's your person feel about reaching out to you? Well, we talked about it in the pre-shuffle, right? It's the same energy now as it was however much time is in the beginning. However much time has passed, it doesn't matter. I got the moon. The moon is my affecting energy here. I think for some of you, you're still this person. I want to say big secret, but I don't necessarily mean a secret. It could be a secret they keep from other people, but I think you're a secret that they try to keep from themselves. Okay? All right. Yeah. There we go. The Death card. I knew there was a powerful energy there. The center card is the 5 of Cups. That's not surprising, and that ties with why I chuckled, and I'll tell you in a second. The Knight of Swords, right there. There's an undying urge to reach out to you. The universe itself keeps urging them to do it. Again, I reiterate, the energy is the same 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road as it was 5 minutes, 10 months, whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay. There's a regret here. There's a regret here, which is why they keep it a secret from themselves. All right. I chuckled because I had this little thing run through my head. I got a friend who claims he was not a heavy drinker. Right? Claims he's not a heavy drinker. And I told him once, I talked to him about his drinking. And claims he's not a heavy drinker. He's perfectly fine. Yet I never see this person without a goddamn drink in their hand. I'm not a heavy drinker. I don't drink a lot. I have, 1 or 2 beers every once in a while. I don't really touch hard alcohol or anything like that. This guy, I've never seen him without a drink. Anytime you go over the house, there's some drink or there's some empty bottles all over the kitchen. I'm sorry, bro. You're a drinker. All right? It's a secret they keep from themselves. They refuse to look at it. That's what we get here. The moment this person thinks about reaching out to you, they feel this 5 of Cups. Now, this normally should bring them in. Okay? It normally should. But change is something this person wants to fly away from. Change, these people are all change averse. Okay, so how do they feel about reaching out to you? On one level, they want to. They definitely have something they want to say. Something that they feel is very important. They want to tell you how they feel. But on the flip of the energy is always in layers. I tell you that all the time. Someday I'll write a blog article on what I mean by that because I think some people don't understand it. And I'll try to explain it there. I'm not going to go into it here. It'll just confuse the reading. But on the flip of the energy, there's an urge to fly away because you represent change. And I keep getting, here in September in particular, the message of change around the Death card. It scares the hell out of them. And it shouldn't. Okay? Because what they've got, this is a picture of what they've got on their side without you. It's dead. It's done. It's over. It's past its expiration date. Even if there was a little spot of meat left on this bird, we shouldn't eat it. How long's this bird been laying around? Plus it's buzzard meat. I don't know if that's any good or not. So, again, the main energy here is the pre-shuffle, is what I explained to you, that the amount of time that passes doesn't matter, and the fact that you are kind of their secret, a secret obsession, if you will. They keep it pushed down because this causes them to want to reach out, but they fear the change, so they both, this Knight of Swords is both flying away and flying in at the same time. Now, just out of curiosity, let's just clarify the Death card. Let's see if we can get some data on change here. I'm going to use the Light Seer for it. If that's a mistake, I'll switch decks. All right. Let's see. Why is the Death card here? Why? 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 So I gave you the science lesson at the beginning because I don't want anyone feeling stupid that you've been waiting around a long time. A couple of years, some of you, more than that. It doesn't fucking matter. And I did my best to explain it. And it's science. It's not wishful thinking. It's not science. We always get some asshole on Twitter, right? Rolls in, fancies themselves some kind of psychologist, rolls in and posts something along the lines of, do you think these are people just, fixating on something? No such thing as soulmate. They're just fixating on something. No, I don't. That would be a massive number of people. There are millions of people watching YouTube. Millions of people all at once having a psychotic break is what that would be. Are you kidding me? Of course not. That's ridiculous. Don't be silly. It's all science. It's all there. Soul connections are even backed up by science, for fuck's sake. All right, right here. People refuse. You throw one little bit of hocus pocus on it and people refuse to believe it. But you throw some science to it and they're likely to believe it. And that's what I try to do, with the exception of the conspiracy theory people, who have a massive distrust of science, But that's their fucking problem. That's because they don't understand it, and they're not going to take the time to research it and figure out the math. Right here, Ace of Pentacles crossing that. Yeah, a solid new beginning is trying to happen for this person. It's the environmental energy around them. All right, they fear this. There's a lot of fear around this. Okay, there is. That Moon card is our overall energy, our affecting energy here. That's fear. What's on top? Two of Wands. The main message here is the same. If I go toward the soulmate and stop running, I'm going to have to, something else is going to have to go, or I'm going to hurt someone else. I see this all the time in the extended, somebody giving their loyalty to the wrong people for the wrong reasons. We do it all the time, right? Some people are actually friends with somebody just because a friend of theirs introduced them. That's not actually a valid reason to give someone your trust because someone else knows them and trusts them. It's not. Trust is earned. It doesn't daisy chain like that. It doesn't. Plenty of people been hurt by somebody a friend introduced them to. Okay? Let people show you who they are. Your person doesn't seem to want to do that, or when the people do show them who they are and they see the toxin on their side, and it's pretty toxic, they shut it down. Because as soon as they feel this, they shut it down. They push it back into the shadows. What's the center card for Pentacles? Fear. It's everything I told you. There's a fear of a new beginning for this person. Somebody here, all of these runners fear being happy on some level. And again, it can be a small level or it can be a high level. But don't doubt that that's true. They fear it. Maybe because the last time they allowed themselves to feel something, they got hurt. But again, past experiences to be learned from, not used as a goddamn template for the future. All right, what's bookending the Two of Wands? The Page of Wands. And at the same time, in the flip of the energy, and I've told you this in recent readings. I know I have. It's a Page of Wands again. It's where we started with the pre-shuffle. I will tell you there is a very strong curiosity about you. About what this new beginning might be, right? And right here, Wheel of Fortune, it wanted to show itself, fueling this Ace of Pentacles. They know it would be different, and they're very curious about that. Just as curious now as they were 5 years ago, 2 years ago, whatever it was. Doesn't matter. In fact, the energy has grown since they ran from you. That's why these readings are getting harder and harder for me to do. That's why I need more and more Advil. Not because more people are coming to the channel, which I originally thought would be a problem. No, it's because these runners keep running. And these connection, and in doing that, they're increasing the power, the massiveness of the connection. It makes it's getting crazy here. It's getting a little, as the kids used to say, cray cray. Okay, what do we got here? Knight of Swords. Let's pull on that, and then we'll pull one crossing card on this sad horse, and we'll go. All right, here we go. Let's see where we go here. Knight of Swords. Why is it here? Tell me about this. Because it's two energies. He's coming towards you and it's flying away from you. The moment they want to do it, really what they fear is happiness. I believe that's true. But they're very curious about you. My God. It's undone. Yeah, it is. Look, the affecting energy always on that shore looking at the water. But the emphasis is on the shore. Right? They haven't gone anywhere. Think about the science I gave you at the beginning of this video. That ocean's always there. Let's assume for a moment that she just stands there all the time on the land. Is her spot changing? No. She's standing in the same spot all the time. For some reason, she's some kind of cyborg. She doesn't need food or water. She literally is just standing there the whole time like a statue. Right? It doesn't change. The stuff changes around them, but it never goes away. She's in the same spot she was 5 years later as she was in the beginning. They're still there. So, again, I reiterate, especially to the person who asked me or was concerned that too much time has passed. Stop it. Too much time doesn't matter. There's no such thing as it. Our perception of it changes with varying, speed and massive objects and mass and amount of energy. All of that changes our perception of time. Time is fluid. You can't look at it linear. You can't worry about years, months, whatever in a connection this massive. It hasn't changed a bit. What's on top? 9 of Pentacles. There it is. That's why she doesn't go in the water. So why is she a statue there? Fine. The urge to reach out is the same 5 years later as it was 5 minutes in. Okay? As it was the moment they ran from you, they had the urge to reach out. That's how these cycles work. Okay? That's how a deep soul connection works. That's when the regret starts to set in. It's instantaneous. That's it. They knew they made a mistake the moment they did it. They stubbornly left that mistake in place. That's very common too, But I bet usually this plays out. People can see this more in the 3D. If someone, like for example, did a tweet that got rid of you, that's how they ran from you. They did fuck off. I don't want you. Not interested. They will leave that tweet there for a long time, even though, and it's just an example, but this is the easiest way to see it in the 3D. Even though they leave that tweet there after they run, even though I know that moments in, they regretted it. That regret set in. They changed their mind. They will leave the tweet there, and leave the tweet there, and leave the tweet there. You can see the breaking point on the moment you go back and they've deleted the tweet. When they delete tweet that they use to cast you off, that's the moment they had a breaking point. The moment they turned around. And while she was always standing in that spot, when she initially ran, she turned. That's the moment they turned around and faced the water. Okay? That's a way that you can see these energies play out in the 3D. It's very common. So they do a tweet, they tell you, fuck off, get out of here. And you do, but you keep watching their page. They leave the tweet, leave the tweet, leave the tweet. And then one day the tweet's gone. They delete it. That's the moment she turns around and keeps looking at the water. And that's the moment they can't take their eyes off the water. You're the water in that analogy. Okay? That's a cool way to see some of this stuff play out in the 3D. It doesn't happen for everyone. That's not how your person ran from you. But you can take that and apply it to your situation. Maybe there's some way to do that. Either way, this is the other side of the energy. This is why she doesn't jump in the water. Because you're the shit. You got it. You seem like you got it going on. I told you this. I told Leos this the other day too. There's an intimidation factor here. A little bit. You have your shit together. They do not. At least emotionally anyway. They don't. So this bird here, he's flying both ways. Coming in, coming out for reasons I've explained. What's the center card? 8 of Swords. See? Right there. That 8 of Swords, look at the picture. Whoops, sorry. Look at the picture. Is red with this 3 of Wands. We're explaining here why she's not in the water. There's an urge to go in the water. Well, of course there is. She's holding a surfboard. I mean, if she didn't want to go in the water, she wouldn't be in a swimsuit and she wouldn't be holding the surfboard. You know, but there's this fear. Why? The fear of what? Fear of you being the shit, having your shit together. They have to come in and get real. They have to be honest with you. They have to tell you how they feel. They have to explain why they ran and why it took so long, right? I mean, they're aware of the calendar months that have passed. It's just the feelings aren't. Again, my analogy of two people on a date, loving each other. 4 hours go by. To them, it's 5 minutes. They can't believe that the place is closing. You're closing? Really? Oh my God, how long have we been here? Yeah. There's a massive amount of energy here, you guys. And you have to understand at least a little bit of physics to understand how that works out. So that's why I'm explaining things. What's bookending the Nine of Pentacles? Judgment. Again, it's going nowhere. This is judgment here is bookending the Nine of Pentacles. This person will always want a second chance with you. This reading is a little bit about time, or space-time anyway, or your perception of time, the passage of it. This person will always, no matter how much time. You could never hear from this person, run into them in 40 years, and it will feel like it all was just happening a week ago or a day ago. That is a fact. It's right here with the Judgment card. It just keeps coming around and around and around. They are always going to want a chance with you. They've just got to get past this. They got to get past this. I don't know why she's afraid to go in the water. She's got a suit on. She's got her board. She's ready to go. Telling them, well, this is telling yourself stories, isn't it? Portuguese man of war in there. Jellyfish. Could be some sharks. Yeah. But your person takes it to batshit crazy levels. There's a megalodon in there. That's an extinct shark, or we think it is anyway. There's a killer whale in there. No killer whale there. There's not. It's not the right kind of climate. It's not. No. All kinds of stories. So it is what it is. I said I'm gonna pull one crossing card on the Five of Cups, and we'll get out of here. Tell me about the Five of Cups, my sad horse. I look right into his eye. All I'm drawn to is his eyes. All right, take a look, and pay attention to the card I pull. Just stare at his eye. All right? Watch this. Give me a Five of Cups. Give me one message for everybody on this Five of Cups about this person reaching out and how they push it back. 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 Oh, yeah. Boom. Fuck yeah. I love it. I love tarot. Hey, I set myself up there. I could have gotten egg on my face. You want to see the card that's crossing that at the bottom? Do you? It's the Seven of Pentacles. The more they sit on their hands, the more time that goes by, the more this plant grows and grows and grows. This card with this is backing up every fucking thing I've told you in this reading. And I said, stare at that eye. Yeah. Look at that. Sad. It's Kurt Cobain in pain. It's a lot of pain. And these are the two cards, the Three of Swords and the Five of Cups, that end the separation phase. This is telling me it doesn't matter how much time passes. This is backing up my whole fucking reading with the Seven of Pentacles here. In divine timing, this person will reach out. But it's deeper than that. Because the perception of time, because there's so much energy exchange here. Empire State Building level energy, massive exchange here. That the perception of time doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It feels like a second has gone by. Just a couple of seconds have gone by. But really, 5 years could have gone by. It doesn't matter. The seeds have been planted. They're growing. That tree, that's going to turn into a big 50-foot tall tree at some point. And with it, the further they run, the more they push this down, the more pain they feel. The more pain they feel, the more likely they are to push past the fear. Because we get brave. You know, sometimes we hit rock bottom. And when we hit rock bottom, we get pissed. And when we get pissed, we get brave. And we take action. So that's why there's two energies here. And you want to know the funniest thing? I will show you this. With all that shuffling, Three Swords coming out here, this Seven of Pentacles here. What is fueling this Seven of Pentacles? Three of Wands. That was crossing right here where I told you the whole story. They turned around. They're standing right there. They've never moved. So, It makes no goddamn difference how much time passes in these soulmate cycles, especially if you have a deep soul or twin flame connection with somebody. There is a lot of energy here. Massive. The perception of time means nothing. Okay? This is not a connection. This is not a connection where two people hate each other and it feels like it drags on forever. Make sure you pull your lessons out of it. The divine feminine, for them, it's a real struggle for the runner. Okay? It's a real struggle for them because they're not facing the lessons and they're feeling all this. They're trying to push back things, emotions that they can't push back. But the divine feminine has been learning, has been growing. And as your energy grows and expands, you then branch off in other directions. So for you, it's more of a, things flow a little better on the DF side. Right? We see that a lot in the twin flame journey readings. That's why I say you're driving a new BMW there in the 74 Pinto. The BMW rides a lot nicer than the 74 Pinto, where the steering wheel starts to rattle at 40. You know, I mean, steering wheel in a BMW should never rattle, even at its top end, if it's tuned properly. That's it. That's your reading. I hope it was helpful. I hope I put somebody's mind at ease, or a lot of somebody's, that, a lot of time has passed. I never want to hear that again. I will refer you to this fucking reading. Okay? It does not matter. This is a massive amount of energy. Your perception of time means nothing. To them, they're just as likely to reach out right now, 5 years later, as they were when they first ran from you, when you first crossed paths. In fact, more likely with the passage of time, because the energy is growing. And we've seen that here in this reading. Growing and growing and growing and growing. You see it right there. That's your reading. I hope it was helpful. If you like this reading, please like, share, and subscribe. Appreciate all the subscribers, everybody who shares, and everybody who watches. All right? And keep in mind, what I do here, I'm an energy reader. All right? I'm not talking, my channel doesn't talk about fairies or anything like that. This is physics. I apply a lot of science to what I do. And I've used science to try to debunk what I do. I've taken a neutral science approach to it. But it always proves that it's, everything proves valid. Everything always ties to the laws of physics. All right? Keep that in mind. All right? That's your reading. Good luck.